Hello, my fellow photographers. This is Krishan Srinivasan, a fine art photographer, and I'm here to present a video today. And I'm going to talk about image editing web tools that are available for photography. So, this is a completely impromptu episode. I had no clue, and I have no clue, or I have not planned anything to speak about this episode, but I might have used few tools before and not thoroughly, but I might have surfaced whatever little that is available, like online, So that's the idea. By the time you might have guessed at what it is going to be or what or how it is going to be, so when I'm saying like it is image editing, we're going to edit some images. Obviously this is a photography channel. We're going to talk only about editing the images or the photographs that we shot. And web tools, what does that mean? Web tool is something where you're using that stuff inside your internet browser. So in my case I'm going to use this Safari, for editing this web tool. Using this web tool to edit this image, and that's the idea of it, for the entire episode. So image editing using a web tool, okay, and how it is going to be useful for photography. So who am I targeting this for? This particular episode or video, like this idea is completely designed for or thought about for people who are just need some quick image editing done for their job. Like these are not for professionals. Professional photographers would always have the necessary tools with them. They would have bought, they might have invested heavily in buying such plugins and stuff, like. So it's not for the professionals, it's for the people who are not professionals, but they want to get into photography, or who have just began with photography, or like they want to teach something to their kids and stuff like that. It's mostly for people who are non-professionals. Okay, so that's it. And now we have seen what we are going to do, like image editing using a web tool, which are useful for photography. Obviously we're going to edit some photographs. So we have seen who are the target audience today and everything. And what are the uses of these web tools? Like, by the way, say there is something called Photopia. I've listed out all the web tools available for us to edit something. Okay. This is a website, a .com. So if you need to edit some images, it's just a .com away. So this is something called photopia.com, and this is almost like a Photoshop, full-fledged Photoshop, and it allows to edit some raw images as well. For not so professional people, this raw image is something that comes out of your camera, professional DSLR or mirrorless camera, which contains the entire data that is possible that your sensor can capture for that moment when you press your trigger. Okay, so shutter button. So that's the raw image thing, what a raw image could handle. So this web tool, which is opening inside a website, working via the a web browser, which has a support of OpenGL and WebGL, for our graphics acceleration and support. So we have come a long way, to make such things possible to work within the web browser itself. People who are using Chromebooks, the students in colleges and everything, going to school and everything, they could find these websites and web tools to be very useful for them. And people who are in offices, they want to do some quick image editing for their presentation or something, they could use these web tools for creating or editing their presentations for the office, quick editing for the office use. Probably they may not have enough time to download or learn or go through all the interface that an open source software like GIMP or Darktable or any other tool that is available as open source software is offering you. They may not have such times, so they are just a .com away. Go to some website which is already offering you, to edit your images. You just go there, edit it, put that in your presentation slide, and go ahead. Something like that. Most of the offices would have a template provided by them. If you want to add some extra logos or client logos or etc., stuff like that, or your team member photographs, you could do that absolutely with this. And if let's accept that, like, we have the office computer in our home and we let the kids watch some YouTube videos and stuff like that, like we are under 10 or 12, like sometimes we do that. We have to accept probably. And if you want to get them start with the image editing software, this could be a web tools could be a good start for them. Like being office computer, you don't want to install all the junks, so you want your kid still want to work on something, to learn something. You don't want to expose them too much into for the blue screen and all that, but still you want your kid to be exposed to whatever that is available on the internet. You want to, if they want to edit some image or do their very first paint of an artwork, all that can be done with this. And it's also useful for other stuff like that, being in the age of social media, in order to create some Facebook post or some Instagram post or some customized Instagram story or Facebook story or other social media posts in Twitter or on Tumblr and other websites. And if you want to create some invitations as a Facebook post or any other social media post, if you want to create some greeting cards, this web tools could be a designing tool as well. When I'm talking about designing aspect, there are web tools available for vector image editing as well, for vector designing as well, vector image designing. So for vectors, I think I have I kept a note of it as well. I think I like this one, vector.com. So this is a web tool wherein you can use this to design your vector slides and everything. So let's not get too much into the designing aspect of it, but if you need something, vector image is something which would not anti-alias or produce artifacts when you zoom in. As much you zoom into the image, it will adjust the graphics for that particular enlargement. It won't pixelate as you might see it in the ordinary photograph. Like if you're going to zoom too much, that will pixelate, produce square blocks of image. Like it's anti-alias, it's beyond watchable or identifiable stuff what it is. Like it goes into a poor quality, a normal image or a JPEG, or in terms for you to understand as JPEG images or like PNG images. Like when you zoom it beyond 100%, you will only see pixelated stuff. Like so vector images, something like that, it will readjust for whatever kind of enlargement that you do, and it's very sharp and neat. And so if you want to design something for you, like for the invitations to be looking rich and everything with the colors, you still have the web tools an option for that. And it can also be a great use for meme creators, these web tools and image editing softwares. Memes are emerging to be the new age of cartoons. Like so there was a transition in old times, like from painting to photograph, and people worked hard to make others believe and to convert photography into an art form. Like so Now it's the age of where cartoons, pen and paper is transcending into digital art, and from digital art into photographs and memes and all the text and stuff, like screen grabs and stuff like that. So these web tools can also be a great use for meme creators. And if you are in a hurry and you're doing a live video on your YouTube channel, and you want to do some live video with other examples and stuff like that, you quote and some you want to show something, you share your screen and stuff like that for quick edits, you can use for web tool, use these web tools for those things. And when you're done with the live video, YouTube or any other platform would generate its own thumbnail. Like if you want your custom thumbnail, you can create your custom thumbnails with these web tools. So you can identify the use that you can do with an image editing software, which is very customizable, and it has enough tools to do most of the uses. You can figure out what are all the purpose it can be amended to, so it can be used for many good things. So those are the possible uses that I could highlight or imagine right now. So what is the agenda of this episode is, like, since I am a fine art photographer and this is a photography channel, I'm not be able to show or take you guys into all the designing aspects of this software, and I'm still exploring, and I've not been using Photoshop for a very long time, so I may not remember all the smart objects and stuff, all the shapes, which you can do all the vector kind of stuff inside of image editing software and take that into a vector software. You can do all those things. Professional designers would remember. I may not be able to show you guys all those things. Since being a photography channel, we'll try to edit some image with using these tools. Okay, so I'll first go ahead and show you what are all the tools that are available online and what kinds of tools are there. And we will just use two tools which would resemble something to Photoshop and something to Adobe Lightroom. Okay, we'll just see how to edit images using these tools. And while editing also, I may not be going to spoon feed you guys. I'll give you pointers, and I want you guys to pick from there and work your way out to learn the menus, the tools and everything. Okay, so use the help menu here, and I'll give you the pointers and directions what to look and where to look, and you can take it from there. Okay, so we have seen the first one already. It's called photopea.com, and I might have to interrupt and tell you guys, I need the Wi-Fi connection today, since this is all about web tools and stuff. If I'm going to use my mobile data and put the hotspot Wi-Fi here, it won't be sufficient for me. So which brings to the idea of, like, you need some decent internet connection to use these tools as well, because few websites would expect you to upload the image to their web tool to edit them and then download them back for your personal use or wherever you want to use it. So you need some decent internet connection. That's why I'm keeping my Wi-Fi on. And if it is unfortunate that someone is tapping into my Wi-Fi network and is already live telecasting or whatever they're doing with my computer screen, I can't help with that. But since I'm recording myself in a separate movie and recording this screen in a separate movie, so you will have a different edit as my video comes out, like after my editing and stuff like that, with good audio engineering or some at least mediocre kind of good audible audio. Okay, so that's the idea. So we have seen the first website here, which is called photopea.com. This allows you to edit. This can take in .psd files. .psd is the extension of Photoshop files, and .xd, .xsketch, .pdf, .xcf. .xcf is for GIMP. PDF is Acrobat, Adobe Acrobat for creating PDF files. Sketch is Autodesk Sketch, and XD is also Adobe product. And I'm not sure about the XD's extension. I think it's one of the pre-visualization, pre-vis tools for websites, and it can take raw files and any other formats. Okay, Photopea is much more versatile than any other web tool, and it's more like Photoshop, and it can handle a wide lot of file formats. Okay, so we're going to take a look only at the raw images, and yeah, next website would be from my notes. I'm going to jump in between my notes and uh, my web browser. Okay, I got to excuse me on that, because I can't have everything opened already. It will take too much of the memory, and we are already uh, loading my late 2014 Mac Mini, which is having only integrated graphics, which means like it runs with the uh, RAM space. The graphics is dependent on the RAM space, so we don't want to load too much. And a good thing I did was like I upgraded this one to a SSD a couple of years back. So the operating systems, the cache, whatever that is overflowing from the random access memory or RAM, will be returned to your operating system's drive. So since this is SSD with very good read and write speed, you may not see the lag or delay when we are recording too many things. Like we are going to edit the image while I am screen recording, while I am recording myself in a different movie. So QuickTime, which I'm using it for screen recording and to record myself, is doing two different jobs, and I'm going to do a third job by opening different browser items, and I'm going to load a raw image as well. So we need some space. I'm going to do it one by one, and if need me, I might close them as well. So hope you guys are okay with that. So this one is called rawpics.io. I'm going to start here. So whenever you get into certain website, it will present you with the formats that is supported here. So you hit it and open the files from the computer, and you work your way with that. So that one is done. I mean, like I'm just showing you what it is, or if you still want that to be present on my wait, I have copied this. Present on my browser tab till I just open few tabs for you guys to explore what it is. I'll show you that. Okay, so the next one is called version 2 of polar.co. Let's give a couple of seconds for the website to load. Depends on my internet connection as well. Okay, so I switched off my ceiling fan, so computer might be heating a little bit if I'm going to overload a lot of web tools. Like I'm not sure where I can switch on and switch off the hardware acceleration in Safari web browser. I can do that on Chrome web browser, so which kinds of gives me some sort of access to whatever that is possible with turning off the hardware acceleration, which means like your computer may not overheat when you're loading with a lot of web browsers. Since this is taking some time, we'll move that and let that load and open some other website here, something called Canva. So as you can see, certain websites would ask you to sign up, only then you can use their web tools for image editing and stuff. Polar is still loading, and canva.com is one such thing. You will need to subscribe to it. And you have something called lunapic.com. I probably will give you all the links in my description this time. I don't want to be too lazy, So you have to upload an image to this website to proceed with your editing. Okay, so then we'll get into next one called photoeditor.com. By the way, by this time you people who are already using computers would have come to an idea of keywords that you can search on the internet to identify what are all the image softwares that is available online, so I don't have to spoon feed you on this, I guess. So the keywords that you can look for on a Google or DuckDuckGo or any search engine that you're using, Bing or etc. All you have to do is look for image editing softwares or image editing web tools. These are the keywords that you could use in your search engine to look for the editor that is available inside your browser, web browser. Okay, this one is called photo editor. You need to upload image or open image from your computer, to browse or drag and drop, and then proceed with your editing. Okay, so these are simple tools. You will figure out what you can do with it when you study the menu that is available already. Okay, so you need to have a fair amount of overall idea. Like when I get to Photopea, you need to. I would give the photopea.com as the benchmark for you to know about the menus, to have a fair amount of idea of like what is there and what is not. So we'll get to that, but have an overview of the menus and whatever things that it can do and stuff like that. Okay, let's not get too much into the details of it. So next one is like snappa.com, and meanwhile we'll check if Polar is still loading. I'll refresh the website for now. That's my internet connection. So get start for free. I'm hitting it. So you need a subscription to use this website. Since I'm crossing over 5 websites, so let me close a few, just not to overload my computer. So we have the version 2 of Polar loaded for us. This one is more like a Lightroom interface. Okay, if people who have seen Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom, a raw image converter, this has some sort of interface like a Adobe Lightroom online inside a website browser. Okay, so I'm going to close the rawpix.io right now. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just giving something which I came across in my way when I was looking for web tools, image editing web tools on my Google search engine, and you are looking at few of those websites. Okay, so few might need subscription as well, so you might not, it may not, all it will ask you for a login information. You might have to sign up with them, then you might have to pay a pricing for the subscription to continue with the image editing. They might even provide you some cloud storage and stuff like that, to access your files everywhere, anywhere, the files that you have worked on, so with Photopea or any other image editor, there are possibilities for you to save your file as a different file format, as a Photoshop file or something like that. We'll take a look at that on a go, like I'll show you them. I'll show you guys. And why I'm copy and pasting it on my Safari browser is because like I'm still holding Chrome browser to be my default browser, though I spend most of my time with Safari. So that's why I'm copying and pasting the link. So this is called bfunky.com. So look what I did. I straight away went into get started. I ignored the sign part of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to edit a photograph. So I'm going to give some time for this too. So I was just experimenting with it. So it has some image already. So this is the editing table of bfunky.com. So you go ahead, bring in an image and start editing your stuff. This bjunkie.com kind of allows you to edit only the JPEGs and PNGs and other formats. It won't even show you a raw file. Okay, I'll give you an example here. I'm opening a folder where I have got some files which has raw as well as JPEG. You could see like the highlighted formats, file formats that it can open. So you got to select with that options. It may not open the other raw files that you want to edit. So this is not a raw editor or converter, but it can edit some JPEG image, do some modifications and stuff like that. So probably you can use it for thumbnail creation, meme creation, or any other social media post. Okay, that's bfunky.com. I'm not showing you the entire tool set or image editing kind and how to do such things, like. So next one is photor.com. So we'll give it a second for this to load. So this is the website, and right away it's almost similar to bfunky. So I'm going to select like edit a photo. So we'll give it a couple of seconds or minutes to load the web interface of image editing table. So it's almost like bfunky.com's. You bring in your image inside and start editing it. Okay, few might have pre-built presets for you, like to edit the images, and few may not give you such options. You might have to meddle with all the settings, and those are little more pro, kind of close to professional softwares, which kind of mimics the professional software's ability inside the web tool. So this one is called photor.com. So the procedure is very simple. You bring in, like you say like I want to load the image from the computer, and load your image and start editing it. Okay, why am I giving you only the pointers regarding other websites? I'll let you know what it is, why I'm doing so. Okay, so this one is called paste and go online image editor.com. The name itself is giving you the entire thing that you need to know about it. So it's called online image editor, and choose the image. So this site is making you or creating you the space wherein you have to upload the image that you want to edit, and then it will take you into the editing table. Say like I want to upload this whatever, some image, some rare image that I have which I shot with my mobile, or wait till it gets uploaded to my this online image editor.com's website from my browser, and then it will take you into the image editing table, and you can perform all your image editing stuff after that. So this is the image editing table of this web tool interface. Like you can add text, rotate it, color change, add borders, do something or some basic stuff. So that's that for you. And what else is there? Next we are getting into the vector files and stuff like that. So as you might understand, what could be the possible vector editing software could be like the text and breezy stuff that you see on a thumbnail or any other place. That's your vector editing software for you. So I'm straight away jumping and skipping a couple of websites which I had a note of it into the ones that is more attractive for you guys. This is free, as well as you have some pricing as well involved to it, and other couple of vector web tools, or like you might have to subscribe to their service, or like you might want to sign up with them with their website to proceed or to use their web tools that is available online. Okay, so this one is like cleverbrush.com. I'm going to go create a design here. So you have the other options, as I said, you guys, like Facebook post, invitation, social media post, greeting cards and everything. And you can even start with an empty canvas and bring in and put your ideas into that canvas. Okay, so let's say I'm choosing a Facebook post and some design that they have, which they have created already, so that they will load that into a vector image editing table, like vector tool. So they have created this shape for you, the text for you, the idea, the gradient in the background, which is flowing from a diagonal from right bottom to the top left, the plus shapes, they might give you the shapes as well, or you might have to create it on your own,